Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Stargirl Season 1, Episode 2, Strike. I'm actually uploading this before I upload the first episode. I need to rewatch the first episode again. I've only watched the first episode twice when it first came out, and then I started watching it before October. But then, of course, when October, November, December came with the holidays, I got busy with the holiday videos and stuff like that. So I kind of need to rewatch, get a little bit my bearings and this and that. I remember some things here and there, but I want to be more precise, you know what I'm saying? And so, like this was a really cool episode. It focuses more on Stripe and Pat and like Courtney's stubbornness of her wanting to be a hero and him not wanting her to be one. And I like seeing that dynamic. I wish there was more of that in the entire first and second season, because like the thing about Courtney in comic books is that she is very, very, very stubborn. Like Pat tells her what to do and she does the complete opposite and stuff. She doesn't like being told like what to do. And so we get a good amount of this in the first season, but then when it gets to like the second season, Courtney is more like sweet like sugar, you know what I'm saying? Like she's just like the cutesy wootsy and like really, really sweet. And that's cool and all, but you have to give her more some of her bite. The only time she ever really gets it in the second season is when she gets mad when, oh, you lied to me, stuff like that. So she kind of got like CW5 girl wise and stuff, similar to that of Supergirl in the Supergirl series, because yeah, the CW kind of CW-fied her as well. She's supposed to be more stubborn and headstrong and punch first and ask questions second, but they kind of tried to make her into more of a Superman type character and stuff. And so, like, of course, the season 1 of Stargirl, even though it appeared on CW, it was technically in DC Universe, now HBO Max show. So that's why like it feels different, it looks different. The CGI was better. It was a bit more like just had a different feel, a different vibe to it, similar to Superman and Lois. And so like I really appreciate the first season. If you ever watch any of my videos on the second season, I had a lot of problems with the second season. And I fear I'm going to have even more problems with the third. But now on to this episode. It picks off directly where the first one ended off at, after the confrontation between Henry Brainwave and Stargirl. Well, actually, she wasn't even Stargirl yet. And Courtney and the staff. Pat shows up to save the day. She is pissed and everything. First, she don't even know who the robot person is, but then she finds out it's Pat. When she finds out it's Pat, she just wants him to leave her alone and everything because she can handle this herself. But he tells her straight up, we're going home and all this other stuff. So he picks her up, puts her on his back, and they fly out of there. Now, the CGI on Stripe, amazing. TV budget, still looks good. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, just make an Iron Man TV show already. Like, you can do that crap, You can go practical and have CG. So, And so, yeah, the CG on Stripe in the first season looks so good. By the second season, they lost their budget. And we barely saw Stripe to the point where they had to destroy him just so they wouldn't have him on screen. And so, like, she's riding his back. Now, if you ever seen this in the comic books, you would know that, okay, this Stripe in the TV show is pretty big. However, in the comic book, he's even bigger. He's about half the size of a Power Ranger Megazord. To the point when Courtney sits on him, she can sit on like his shoulders and stuff. This Courtney cannot sit on his shoulders. She can only sit on his back. And so, like, yeah, they made him a bit smaller for the TV show. And that's the one thing I always felt kind of weird about him. I remember when I used to watch the Justice League cartoon, just like, he's just in a giant Megazord mech suit. Like, he can't do much of anything in that unless he's fighting like a giant. So it would be better if he had like a suit of armor like Iron Man or like steel, but like whatever. So like he goes home. Well, actually, he goes back to the garage, and it's kind of funny how he goes in and out the garage with Stripe, and nobody ever sees that. So they have a huge discussion. He does not want her playing around with that stuff no more. She wants to be a hero. She still thinks Starman is her father. He keeps telling her over and over, he is not your father. You don't know what you're doing. You don't need to be a hero. You're gonna get hurt. And he doesn't want to see that happen. He doesn't want to break like her mom's heart and stuff. But he wants to know who the dude that she fought. She describes like his hair color and stuff because she don't really know what he looks like. And so like, well, she knows what he looks like, but she don't know his name. So she knows his hair color. He knows straight up is Henry, aka the Brainwave, a very dangerous person. She thinks that he has the ability to move things with his eyes, but he doesn't. He's a telekinetic and a psychic. And so he can move objects with his mind. And he can like make you have like a stroke or like a seizure with just like his thoughts and everything. He is extremely powerful, but not as powerful as his boss, Icicle. And so like now Pat really doesn't want her going out and stuff. And he tells her straight up, you don't know what you're doing. Like, back in the day when I used to do this stuff, we had costumes and this and that. So she's all like, all right, like I'm learning 101. Get a costume. I'm probably going to need a mask and everything. And he's just very adamant and constantly just tells her no. And so in the morning, when her mom made like pancakes, well, he made pancakes and stuff. And so like, this is when the brother, like he was just there, not being annoying and everything, not trying to be a hero. And so he's there playing his video game, getting on his dad's nerves. And Courtney's mom wants to know how she got those cuts and bruises on her face. And she's like, oh, I fell down the basement stairs. Then she sees Pat, who has bruises all over his face. And she's all like, well, how'd you get all that? He's all like, oh, I fell down the basement steps. And she's like, you both fell down them? So Pat, we get a cool little montage of him with the striped suit because he's gonna take on the JSA member. No, the ISA. That's it. Okay, my SAE is wrong. ISA, and so he's gonna take them on along with the striped suit, but he has to fix it. He hasn't really worn it since like after like the JSA died and stuff about 10 years ago. So it's a cool little like goofy montage. He's keep trying to like shoot the little rocket fist thing, but it keeps messing up. It either like falls to the ground all limp, or it smacks him in the face, or like the rockets take off in the back. It's just like hilarious and stuff. And so Courtney, while she's at school, she's having like lunch with, because she still has no friends, so she's having lunch and we see Beth, and Beth is talking to her mom on face chat because Beth has no friends, and she eats with her mom every day via face chat, and her dad is there, and he talks, and her parents don't want nothing to do with her. They want her to make friends. Now, what's funny is that before this, Henry, he is talking to his son, asking about what happened the night before, who damaged the car and stuff like that. Well, we see Henry steal money from his dad, and we see him be really rude to his like Hispanic maid. Like Henry Jr. is just like a little punk jerk, you know what I'm saying? And so his dad's asking him all these questions, and he doesn't want nothing to do with his father. Then his father's all like, look at me. Like, what am I thinking? Like, he wants to see if his son has powers or not, but Henry does not. So he is trying to figure out who the girl is that was there that night. He has her little ID badge. Now he sneaks into the home of God. What's his name? I think in the comics he's Abracadabra or something like that, or Abra or something like that. He's like a person who knows magic, and he has like a wand. He does like Abracadabra, and then he makes stuff happen, right? And so like he sneaks into the home, and then the family, they're all like, somebody's in the house. So then he goes down there to talk to Brainwave, and Brainwave's all like, I need to know who this girl is, and the ISA is back in full section, and we're gonna need your help, and we're gonna do this project called Something America, where we're gonna make a new America and stuff like that. And the abracadabra dude doesn't want nothing to do with him. I think he's like a senator now and stuff. And so, like, when they are at school, Brainwave, like, he works with Beth's mom. And so he sees her on face chat. Now, when he sees Beth, he's nice to Beth. So he's not a complete jerk, you know what I'm saying? Because it's interesting. These villains from back in the day, they have regular jobs now, regular lives and kids. They don't act villainous until they suit up and stuff. And so the thing about Henry is that he always has a grumpy look on his face. But he's nice to Beth and nice to his coworkers and stuff. And as he's talking, or as Beth is talking to her mom, he can like overhear and stuff like that. And they're all like, oh, this is Courtney and blah, blah. But he doesn't see Courtney. But he's looking through all the school records of all the kids. And he's looking at all the blonde curly haired ones, or at least all the blondes. And of course, one of their names is Courtney. So she's trying to figure out like who she is and stuff, you know. And so they're having a school meeting and he decides, well, I'm going to go to it. So Courtney, while at school, she decides now's the time for her to make a superhero costume. And it's a cute little montage. She takes Starman's old costume and she remodifies it to fit her body. But the material of the suit is super strong. So scissors aren't working on a thing. So she has to use the paper cutter, the big blade to the thing. Then she has to sew it, but she breaks every sewing machine in the room. And it's a cute little montage and stuff. You know, this show just has a different vibe to it. And so, you know, she's there at night at the student teacher meeting and stuff. And it's interesting because every major villain from the ISA is there with their kids, and she has no idea who they are. And Pat's there with some of them. He knows what some of them are, but he doesn't know who all of them are because they used to wear masks and stuff. And so he's looking for Brainwave, and she's looking for Brainwave, and Brainwave's looking for her. And then when she sees him, she says his name in her head, and he hears that. So she's trying to get like far away from him, but he ends up actually meeting her. And they have like a little like standoff where he's all like, you know, I want the staff, and oh, you think Starman should father and blah blah, but you're gonna give me the staff at midnight, or I'm gonna kill your mom and make it look like she had a stroke, and then I'm gonna torture you and everything. So then she gets the Pat, and then she tells him what happens. So she wants to go with him, but he's all like, no, I'm going by myself to take care of this dude. And if I'm not back by the morning, then you take your mom and my son, and you get far away from Blue Valley and stuff. And so, of course, what she does? Disobeys the order. Oh, I forgot. There's also a little thing about Pat working out, and he's there with the crook. Forget his first name, but he's Sportsmaster. But we don't know he's Sportsmaster just yet. And so, like, then when Pat goes to meet like Brainwave, they fight, but Pat is no match for him because Brainwave can just like move objects and mess up with his suit. Then in comes Courtney. Now when she flies on her staff, boy, that is some great CGI. I missed the budget from this show. They did not do none of that in the second season except for the big fight scene and stuff on one episode. So she's cruising on that thing, she's flipping around, and she tells Brainwave, you get away from my partner and everything. And stuff. He's a little annoyed because he's the veteran here and stuff. So him and her, they go at it, and she blasts him dead in the face. That is such a Courtney thing to do. So, like, they fight and everything, but of course she's no match for him. And when she's on the ground and pinned, Pat distracts him with like light in his eye. So then she takes the staff, and boy, when I say she like such a Courtney thing to do, this is a Courtney thing to do. She takes that staff and she jabs it in his face, and then she blasts him as hard as she could with the cosmic staff. And then so his brain's like short circuiting, and he's freaking out, and there's electricity everywhere, and then there's a big like shock wave that happened from both the staff and his kinetic powers, and he is out. And I mean, he is out. His brain is fried and everything. So then they take him to the hospital where Henry Jr. is attending to him and stuff. And so when they're back at like her house, she's worried she might have killed him, but he's all like, nah, he's sure he's fine, but his brain's just like out of it, you know what I'm saying? And so like they talk some more, and she decides that, she's gonna be a hero whether he likes it or not, and he's gonna be her partner. And then she starts giving him nicknames. She still calls him Stripesy because that was his old name, but then she's like, what if I call you Stripe? And then what if it's like an acronym? And then she says the acronym from like the comics and everything. And so, they decide they're gonna be a duo and everything. And then so at the end, we see the big man himself, the bad dude. We see Icicle, and he's going down to the old lady of the ISA, where he meets a couple more of his members because, well, they're getting the band back together to start like I forgot what their program's called, but it's something America. But yeah, it was a pretty cool episode. It needed more action, sure, but the action we did get with the CGI was like cool enough. But it would have been nice to have just a tad bit more action. But you know how them superhero shows are nowadays. They don't have much action. They're no Xena, you know what I'm saying? And so like I love the dialogue in this. I love the CGI in this majorly. The little brother Mike wasn't that annoying like he is in the second season. The mom had like some interesting stuff to do that wasn't like pushy and stuff. And we get to see the other members of JSA 2.0, but they didn't have much to do because they haven't like joined the group yet. But like we get to see just how like desperate Beth is for like friendship and stuff. So that's some nice character build up from when she does become part of the JSA 2.0. So all in all, like I said, it was a pretty good episode and stuff. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.